It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Okay, it's Thursday. We're 4 days into our challenge week, and today's challenge for the Imaging Channel is to seriously take the time to understand the value of e-commerce and take the time to understand how you're going to deliver e-commerce. You need to call my friend Norm McConaughey and ask him to explain to you the benefits of e-commerce in today's marketplace. But I want to bring this a little bit more home and bring it more of a reality to the impending doom inside the Imaging Channel. Recently there was an article written, and in that article there was a panel of industry leaders, dealer owners, and they were asked questions regarding the threat of Amazon and regarding the threats around e-commerce. And of course a lot of the answers that we got were expected. They were about all the reasons why it won't work. They were about the reasons why we need to have feet on the streets and consumers value the relationships. And at the end of the day, Amazon's not the Imaging Channel. Amazon does things its way, the Imaging Channel does things its way, and the two shall never meet. And there was some realistic thoughts in that article. I'm not saying it was all about how Amazon couldn't be a threat. There was a few people who saw them as a threat. But for the most part, our industry still sees Amazon as Amazon and sees the Imaging Channel as the Imaging Channel. The Imaging Channel's the only recognized competitive threats if they look like them. The Imaging Channel still recognizes the threats of manufacturers, they recognize threats from other dealers, but we're still not recognizing outside threats like we should. In part of that article, there was a question asked, and the question was, if you were Amazon, what would you do to come and disrupt the Imaging Channel? And I really didn't get the answer I was looking for when I read that article, so I thought today I would provide the answer based on the way I think. And here's how Amazon is going to threaten the Imaging Channel and a big part of its customer base. I believe Jeff Bezos, all he has to do is make a phone call to the New York office of Sycamore Partners and ask Sycamore Partners if they're ready to sell the whole thing. Are they ready to sell Dex Imaging? Are they ready to sell Staples? And are they ready to sell Ascendant? Because we all know that Jeff Bezos could write that check. So now let's hypothetically say that Jeff wrote the check, and tomorrow he owns Staples, Dex Imaging, and Ascendant. He has 2,500 or so office products resellers that are now selling products he can deliver through the website or he can deliver through the retail locations called Staples. He now has Dex Imaging, a powerhouse, nearly a $500 million copier dealer, plenty of feet on the street. As a matter of fact, I would imagine they'll run around and try to get more people to join the Dex Imaging service footprint. The difference now is when they go out and get these dealers to join the Dex Imaging footprint, it won't be a private equity deal. It's an endgame deal. It's a lot more important if you think about it. So folks, what does that give Jeff Bezos? Man, he gets the retail outlets, kind of like he did when he bought Whole Foods. He wanted to get into that grocery business, but he knew he needed to have some kind of a brick and mortar facility. So he just went out and bought Whole Foods, brought the digital and the physical world together. Well, he knows in order for him to ramp up IT services, in order for him to fill up his cloud with some of the small business people, the best way to do that is get some salespeople, feet on the streets. What better sales force than a whole bunch of old copier guys that are transitioning to do deliverables? So my friends, to believe that e-commerce is not important, to believe that Amazon is not a threat to the infrastructure of the Imaging Channel is quite silly, because they are. And when Dex Imaging sold to Staples, I told you all the infrastructure of the channel changed. And we got to stop thinking about why this won't work. And we got to start talking about how it will work. Because it's through those conversations that we're going to prepare ourselves. Maybe even collaborate so that we don't fall victim to a new innovative process. So my challenge again is to pay attention to the value of e-commerce. reach out to Norm McConaughey. He's been talking about this for a long time. He's been screaming about it. And now we need to scream about it. And I'm going to scream about it with him. E-commerce is extremely important. And we got to start taking it serious. Well, I'll end my time with this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo and have a fantastic evening, my friends.